Something revolutionary is happening in the fields of Ukraine. It's not a battle being fought with billion-dollar fighter jets or advanced missile systems. It's being led by this, a small plastic drone made from hobby parts that cost less than a new PlayStation, and it is systematically hunting and killing one of the most feared weapons of war, the main battle tank. The cost of the drone? A few $100s. The cost of the tank? That can range from $1 to $10 million or even more. This isn't just a new tactic, it's the new reality of the asymmetric battlefield. For the better part of a century, if you wanted to dominate a battlefield, you needed a tank. It's a 60-ton behemoth of steel and firepower, the undisputed king of ground combat. But across the scarred landscapes of Ukraine, these multi-million-dollar war machines are being neutralized and utterly destroyed. As of late 2025, open-source intelligence has visually confirmed that Russia has lost thousands of tanks since the start of the full-scale invasion, a staggering number that defies traditional military thinking. The culprit isn't always a sophisticated anti-tank missile. More and more, it's a small, fast, and shockingly cheap kamikaze drone. These buzzing, explosive-laden quadcopters have become a defining weapon of the war, completely changing the math of modern combat. They represent a paradigm shift where cheap, off-the-shelf technology can challenge and defeat some of the most expensive hardware on the planet. So how is this actually happening? How are small teams of soldiers, armed with what are basically remote-controlled bombs, managing to stalk and eliminate Russia's most powerful assets? This is the story of how a few $100s is beating millions. The weapon at the heart of this revolution is the FPV, or first-person view drone. These were originally built for civilian drone racing. The pilot wears goggles showing a live video feed straight from the drone, giving them a thrilling, seat-of-your-pants perspective that allows for incredibly precise, high-speed maneuvering. Through sheer ingenuity born from necessity, Ukrainian forces saw a different potential. They realized if they strapped a simple explosive, often a warhead from an RPG, onto one of these, they could create a highly accurate disposable guided missile for a shoestring budget. Components are often bought from commercial websites and assembled in small workshops or by soldiers in the field. The typical cost for one of these frontline FPV drones is just a few $100s. Compare that to a single Javelin anti-tank missile, which can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, or the tank itself, which can be valued anywhere from $2 to $10 million depending on the model. This unbelievable cost difference is the key to their strategic power. Ukraine can afford to send swarms of these drones for the price of a single conventional anti-tank round. It's a strategy of mass and attrition, where losing a drone is a tiny economic hit, but losing a tank is a devastating blow. Ukraine has fostered a massive nationwide effort, with state-backed programs and countless volunteer workshops, all aiming to produce millions of drones a year to press this advantage. But it's not just about the cost. Unlike missiles that need a direct line of sight, FPV drones can fly over hills, around buildings, and into trenches. This allows operators to hunt targets from hidden positions several kilometers away, turning the drone into a flying, thinking, remotely guided bomb. So how does a flimsy-looking plastic drone actually kill 60 tons of solid steel? It's a deadly combination of smart tactics, pilot skill, and exploiting the weaknesses built into every tank. A typical drone hunt is a team effort. It usually starts with a separate reconnaissance drone flying high above, spotting a target. Once a Russian tank is located, its position is sent to a nearby FPV strike team. The hunt is on. The FPV pilot, hidden in a basement, trench, or forest, launches their drone. Their goal isn't just to hit the tank, it's to hit its weakest points. Tank designers have spent decades fortifying the front armor, where it expects to face fire, but the top, rear, and sides are much weaker. The top armor might stop shrapnel, but it won't stop a direct hit from a shaped charge. The rear houses the engine and cooling vents, a critical and relatively soft target. You've probably seen the footage online. FPV pilots have become surgical in exploiting these weak spots. They execute incredible maneuvers, diving straight down onto the turret's thin top armor. They weave through trees to hit the tank from the side, aiming for the turret ring where the turret meets the hull, a known vulnerability. Others fly straight into the engine deck at the back, crippling the vehicle and forcing the crew to bail out. The psychological impact on tank crews is terrifying. The constant, high-pitched buzz of a nearby drone means danger is imminent. They're being hunted by a nearly invisible enemy that can strike from any direction at any time. This has forced tanks to operate further from the front lines, making them less effective as offensive weapons. And Ukrainian drone teams are constantly innovating. They use larger mother-ship drones to carry FPVs closer to the action, extending their range. They've even used small ground robots to spot vehicles in heavy fog, calling in a strike drone lying in ambush. It's a relentless cycle of adaptation. For every countermeasure, a new tactic emerges. The tank isn't dead, but it's being forced to evolve at a blistering pace. The overwhelming success of FPV drones has kicked off a frantic arms race of countermeasures on both sides. The most visible and maybe most desperate adaptations are the cages of slapped armor welded onto tanks, nicknamed cope cages and leading to bizarre creations dubbed turtle tanks. These metal grills are meant to detonate a drone before it hits the main armor. But these are crude solutions that often limit the tank's ability to turn its turret or see what's happening around it. A more advanced defense is electronic warfare, or EW. Jammers mounted on vehicles can disrupt the radio frequencies that control the drones, severing the link to the pilot and causing them to crash. But this has just pushed the next evolution. This has spurred development into new kinds of EW-resistant drones. Some concepts being tested even use spools of fiber optic cable that trail behind the drone, creating a physical data link that can't be jammed. While not yet in widespread use, it shows where this technology is heading. Others are being designed with emerging AI, which can help the drone lock onto a target and guide itself for the final, critical seconds, even if the pilot's connection is cut. This is a new but rapidly growing capability. One of the most promising high-tech solutions is an active protection system, or APS. These systems use radar to spot incoming threats and fire a projectile to destroy them just before impact. The challenge now is adapting these systems, which were designed for bigger, slower missiles, to track and destroy small, fast-moving drones. It's a huge engineering problem that militaries are racing to solve. This cat-and-mouse game is the new reality. It proves that the era of a single, invincible tank is over. Survival now is about being part of an integrated system, a network of recon, electronic warfare, and counter-drone defenses all working together. The war in Ukraine has become a brutal, real-world testbed for the future of fighting. It has shown with terrifying clarity that technology is democratizing the battlefield. Cheap, adaptable, and commercially available systems can now inflict massive damage on expensive legacy military hardware. The dynamic of a $500 drone taking out a multi-million-dollar tank isn't an anomaly. It's a defining feature of 21st century conflict. So, is the tank dead? Not exactly, just as the battleship didn't disappear overnight with the rise of air power. But its role is changing forever. The tank can no longer be a blunt instrument used for assault without massive support. It has to become just one part of a wider network, protected by layers of electronic and physical defenses, and supported by its own drones. The race is on. Militaries across the globe are scrambling to adapt, investing billions in counter-drone tech, and rewriting their playbooks. The simple homemade FPV drone hasn't just changed the war in Ukraine, it has forced every major military to confront a new and uncomfortable truth. In modern warfare, it's not always the biggest weapon that wins, it's the most adaptable. If you found this breakdown interesting, subscribe and ring that notification bell. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What piece of tech do you think will change warfare next? Thanks for watching.